Welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast, where you get to choose, change and take action to create a different today and a different future. These are my stories of choice, change and action, along with the phenomenal guests I have on here. From a really young age, I've always desired to create a change in the world. The planet has been a constant inspiration to me, and Access Consciousness has shown me the tools to know that anything is possible. And I keep choosing. What are you going to choose? Hey everyone, welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast. So I have you're with your host, Simone Milasas, and I have two guests here today. And if you look watching us on YouTube, they've actually flipped it around just to freak you out. It says Jack and Tim. The way they're sitting is Tim true. And Jack. Yeah, but welcome, guys. You have become one.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here. So I'm not exactly sure the direction we're going to go today, but one of the things I was looking at this morning, because usually when I'm doing a podcast or something, you get this download. And one of the things I've been so impressed with both of you guys right from the beginning is how determined you are. And I actually haven't physically met either of you. And I'm just going to say, Tim showed up in one of my classes once, and it was a business done different class. And he was sitting there on his couch doing the access business and money class. And I always remember your kid would come in and give you a hug and, whatever. And it was like nighttime and you started talking about, because obviously it was a business class, and you started talking about some questions that you had of this idea. And it was so interesting how it just pinged me. And I'm going to take it even to one step further that goes into that weirder category. But I think we all have the awareness of is what are we aware of is I was talking to some friends previously going, what if I invested in a gym? Like, what if there was a gym that I invested in? Because, after COVID and everything, I think Australians were really good at drinking and also getting their fitness on at the same time. That's just what we did, get your fitness on and drink it, not necessarily at the same time, but it wasn't, either or. So, and there was the gyms up here in the Sunshine Coast, there's just so many of them, but they're all full and they're all really busy. And I was with F45 at the time, I think, or I just left F45. And all the gyms I notice have a different something. They're offering a different, whether it's personal training or classes or whatever. So each and every single person, offers something different, and everyone's after something different. For me personally, F45, I loved the idea of a class, and I would go to the class and I was injured. 90% of the time I'd find my week I was injured, and I was like, okay, what's creating the injury? And for me, it was, I don't know, maybe because I'm getting older or whatever, I don't know, but it was maybe not stretching enough and actually moving into the motion of what the exercise was. And it was just very go, 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 go. A friend of mine once described F45 as very jumpy, you're just jumping everywhere, right? And then I was talking to a friend of mine at CrossFit, and she was talking about similar thing, but she said we do less exercises in one session. So it's more concentrated on this. And I started to look at all these other gyms and what worked for me. And then Tim, that's going to spin me out. I might call you Jack, but Tim, the Jack and Tim thing. Tim was talking about this business, and he was asking me questions about starting this business and this gym. And I was like, So I actually pinged Tim, and I was like, hey, because you were talking about getting investment. And I went, what if I invested in your gym? So here we are today, and I am one of the investors in your gym. Still haven't met you guys, flown down to Tasmania yet, but I feel like we're getting to know each other along the way, which is hence why I wanted you guys to come on here and talk about, first of all, can you talk about how this all first came up for both of you? How long have you known each other for? And how did that, I call it this generative energy, that sort of energy, when you jump out of the shower and you're like, I've got an idea. It's just there. It's how did this all start with you two?
You or me? I'll start. Well, yeah, we both met in Kingston, a town south of Hobart, playing Aussie rules footy. So, grew up playing sport, and basically we parted ways for a while. Jack's actually 11 years younger, so he was quite a young boy up there. I was the captain.
So he's your toy boy.
Yeah.
The sugar daddy.
Look, that's between us. But he went up to Queensland. So went up and moved away, did his fitness certificates. I was doing the same thing down here, unbeknown to each other. And then out of the blue, sort of a few years later, Jack messaged me and said, "Hey, mate, thinking about, opening up a gym back down in Tassie. I'm moving back down for family reasons. What do you think?" And initially I was like, I had two young boys at that time. I've just been in the fitness game for a while doing PT, which is a really tough business, like to run that yourself. And you're only getting paid, money for time. And so initially I just got back out of that, back into my office job. And initially I was like, stuff that. Like, I don't know if I want to open a gym. But, the more we talked about it, we caught up, had a beer. And the more we talked about it, I realised this is a way to grow something myself or ourselves. Not just, work for someone else, working the 9 to 5, as I said, trading time for money. This is a way for us to grow our own thing, leverage our time and build a legacy, So right from the start, we had a massive vision. So initially we were thinking about bringing another franchise down from the mainland. But in the end, as you know, Simone, we've got lots of ideas, lots of passion and a big vision. And we decided we probably can't quite fit in someone else's system. Let's do it ourselves. So, and then we can become a franchise.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about that a little bit because, it is. I mean, it's easy to, you guys are, we will have information in the subscription notes from this podcast as well, because you guys are now offering franchises with what you came up with. But the thing that I'm so impressed with is that you did keep going along with your ideas and what it is that you desired, and you have something that's entirely different. So I do want to get to that, of what it is that you've created. And when I initially started talking to you guys, like I said, I was at F45. I saw how F45 worked and was like, this is huge, like that what they have. And I honestly get that you guys can outcreate F45. So, and I'm at Jets now. I'm going to say we're all cheating on each other, like with all these different gyms, but I'm at Jets now. But that actually works for me because I have such an odd working hour thing. So, and it is open 24 hours. It's got all the stuff there. I do have a PT there, which I really like that. So I've got that. So that works for me at the moment. But so tell us about how you tell us about how your gym works, but also you have some very unique ideas with it as well. Like, how did that eventuate?
So I guess we identified that there was a massive gap in the market in the fitness industry. 99% of gyms, they have been, and they still will for a long time, but we want to change that. Very results focused. And don't get me wrong, results do matter. I'm not saying that at all, but more so for us, we want to change the way people work out to more so feel it. We want people walking out of our studio feeling better than when they walked in. So really improving on positive mental health, feeling strong rather than just looking strong, feeling amazing, feeling empowered. And that all comes down to the smaller details in how we operate our studios. So for instance, we turn our lights off and we've got these nightclub style lighting, which really creates for an immersive atmosphere. It's just you, your mate, the barbell, that's it. And obviously your instructor and 30 other mates in there, but it's just, you're powering it out for 45 minutes and it's just an insane time. We've got DJ curated playlists as well to really create that journey from start to finish for people, so you can really feel the beat, feel the music and feel empowered with your surroundings as well. So it's all about coming in and escaping from reality, escaping from the outside world for 45 minutes, so you can leave here feeling, oh, fuck, that was amazing. That was so good. We've got those fresh scented face towels after your sessions as well. So it's just all in the detail, and we put a lot of effort into staff training as well, so including ourselves. So massive on customer service. So as soon as the member walks through the door, you greet him with a big, beautiful smile. And we don't just hire anyone. We hire people that actually give a shit. They give a shit about people. We can train people how to train people. We can train people or how to teach someone how to do a deadlift, but you can't necessarily teach someone how to give a shit. So that was a massive factor for us when it came to hiring someone or hiring a team. Can we sit down and have a beer with them? That was it. That was our general, like, can we sit down and have a beer with you for 3 hours and just flow the conversation? And that's something that we really pride ourselves on is staff retention. You know, we've been open for 2 years now and we've kept the same team. And the fitness industry has a massive churn rate for staff as well. So it's just a revolving door. You've worked in a few gyms, I've worked in a few gyms. So we've really wanted to create a culture at our studio where people can come and feel safe, we're approachable, have a laugh. And like I just said, we can sit down and have a beer with each other.
I love. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to add to that. Like, as we said, we came from that sports background, so we love the idea of those regular functions and how to get people together. And I know, you know, all gyms would bang on about their community's the best and stuff. And of course, you know, you spend lots of time with the people at your gym. Like, gyms are the new pubs, you know. People don't necessarily go to pubs anymore. They go to group training gyms these days to meet people, to see their friends, to get that social connection, as you said, especially since COVID.
I don't. I go to work out. That's it. And I'm with my PT, and I'm not doing anything else. But I think I see so many people around the world that by the time I get home and go to my gym, I'm like, I'm not really interested. And when they have the get together nights at the local pub or something, I'm like, oh, that's like my worst nightmare for me.
That's not for everyone, though. That's
because you haven't been with us, Simone. That's the thing.
That's not for everyone. Exactly. We want people.
Well, the thing that you guys are pointing out, which I really like, is that personable contact. And one of the things I was looking at today is like, how do you make your business different and successful is the uniqueness that you have. And recognizing that everybody desires something different and everybody desires something different. I mean, I love that with my personal trainer, he doesn't go, right, this is what we're doing today. I'll walk in and he looks at me and he goes, how are you today? Like, and he's not just saying, hey, how are you, as this passing question. He's really like, hey, what's going on? Like, he goes, are we feeling strong? Or are we like, you know, because he will push me, but not to the extent that I end up hating him or I'm uncomfortable. Like, and I love that. And a friend of mine from South Africa just moved to Melbourne and he joined this gym. I think it was a CrossFit. I'm not sure. But because he works with me and he was like, check this out. He joins the gym. They sent him this email and it was so personable. Like, hey, Wes, we're so grateful that you've, joined this gym. What is it that you want out of this? Like, can we make an appointment and have a chat? And he did. And I've noticed he's been in these competitions and he's doing all this stuff. But he said it's the gym that, like, he does have this sense that he's going to, this family setup and that they really do have his back with what he desires with his body. And I think that's and I think that's a really important thing. Like, years ago, I studied karate. I studied martial arts and I loved it. It was great. And then it became this, if you're not doing this, like, I was training like 5 times a week, but then it was your lifestyle had to be karate. And it got too much for me. Like, it was too imposed upon me that this is it. You can't do anything else. And I was like, that's not going to work for me because I like the diversity. So I really like the way that you guys are sort of tapping people on the shoulder and going, hey, does this work for you? Or what is it that you would like?
100%. And that's something we pride ourselves on and teach our staff is, we're on the mic down there in the class and we're not saying, you've got to go heavier this set or you've got to do your max this. As you said, sometimes you walk in and they say, how are you? And you're like, I'm not feeling my best today. And you should never compare yourself with other people. But one big thing I've learned is you can't even compare yourself with yourself last week because, it could be a number of things, but you might not be feeling as strong or energetic that day. For women, menstrual cycle, that's a big thing. Like, a lot of people don't talk about this shit. But it matters. So we, as you said, we get people to come in. I was talking to someone yesterday. They were talking about coming across from CrossFit. And they said, it's a bit, as you said, a bit jumpy. We don't want to just be doing Olympic barbell lifts for, 45 minutes and standing around watching technique. And we're talking about a few different injuries and stuff. And I said, look, at the end of the day, we're not going to yell at you and make you do stuff. We'll show you what we're doing. We always go around and ask people, especially if they're new, hey, any injuries? Are you able to do this movement? If not, try this. And a big thing about our lighting, as we mentioned, that nightclub concert style lighting, is we've had massive feedback from particularly women saying they love it because it's darker. There's no mirrors. There's no bright lights. You can't see all the sweat patches, all the bumps and lumps, and they fucking love it. So that's been a bit of an accidental thing.
I can't anyway because I don't have my glasses when I'm working out, so I can't see shit anyway when I'm working out. Hey, you did some research on the lighting though, didn't you? Like, what did you choose it for?
Well, basically, we got we had a consultant from Queensland who actually helped us come up with a few of our like immersive member experience type things. She works in member experience. She worked in Virgin Active across the world. And she was telling us all about the research behind it. And yeah, as I just said, it's got that multi-factor effect where obviously when you go to a nightclub or a concert, you just feel like jumping around and dancing and moving your body. And that's what we're trying to do. So motivation, but also it's a good distraction from, just having to do a bunch of exercises, which no one really wants to do. And let's face it, not even us. But
really,
yeah.
Don't you like it? But don't you like exercising?
Yeah, it's all right. Look, I would say, man,
I'm also do.
This is where Jack and I probably differ from most people because we, as I said, we grew up playing sport, so therefore we're in the gym a lot, but we're not gym junkies who are going to post a heap of ourselves on our Instagram doing all these weird challenges. Does that make sense? So we're more about how exercise makes you feel rather than doing the latest workout of the day. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's probably how I would be too. Sometimes I don't find it that easy to motivate myself, especially when I'm traveling and it's got such a weird lifestyle and being on stage all the time. I notice that, like my hamstrings just like become so much shorter being on stage. So then I go, okay, what can I do to change that? What can I do to feel better in my body? So I do have a lot of Pilates or big stretching exercises that I'll do before when I like wake up in the morning when I'm traveling. I can do it in my hotel room. It's easy and it makes my body feel better. So yeah, I like that. And I go through stages. Like I've got a really good gym downstairs, from Pilates equipment to weights, treadmill, Velocon, like all these different things. And I've also got boxing equipment outside. And I've noticed at the moment I'm into boxing, but then I might not box for 3 months and then I'll go back to it. So I like you flip all the time, but I do get, and what I would like to invite everyone listening to this is, what if you started choosing what makes your body feel good and what makes you feel good? Because I know for me, I've been asking to be stronger and have more flexibility. And when I'm stronger and have more flexibility, it's like life overall is easier, like with the way you move your body. But it is about how you feel. So I get that. It's not,
That's what I guess, like what Tim's saying is, with your latest workout of the day and stuff, if you just go into a boring workout, it can be very, not very motivating. So I guess that's just what we've tried to do here. We've tried to make working out as fun as possible so you can come in and it doesn't feel like working out, because ultimately people work out, like we keep banging on, to get that endorphins rushing and to feel so fucking good about themselves. So that's what we've tried to do, is we've just tried to take away that, boring factor and make it as fun as possible, because you're only with us for 45 minutes of your day. That's how long people are with us for. So we're trying to make that fun for people. We want that to be the funnest part of your day. We want to make your day. We want you guys to leave feeling amazing. And that's what we're trying to change in the fitness industry. Just ultimately just get people to work out, to get that endorphins rushing and increase that mental health. And back to the lighting as well, I might say, is when we were actually designing the lighting, and because we are strength and conditioning, for people that don't know, we are strength and conditioning, so we're probably 70% strength based. We got told from everyone that the lighting won't work with barbell movements. Everyone was like, nah, it's not going to work, can't do that, shouldn't do that. And here we are now. It hasn't been done before, so I guess that's why people were like, oh, don't do it. But
That's what I think that you guys are great at. It hasn't been done before. It's like keeping it unique. So now you started off with one name of the business and now you transitioned as well. And I sort of like that you guys keep, it's like tasting things and going, oh, this doesn't taste so great. Let's do something different. And so what have you moved into? It's now called Underground, spelt in a different way. What's the website and what have you moved into? What's the franchises available under?
You know, mate?
Well, we haven't actually announced it yet, Simone, but
No. Hang on. You can announce it here because we're not playing this until you announce it. Remember?
Oh, how exciting. That's awesome. That's great.
Well, at the moment, those that are listening.
But I love,
So,
okay. So what is it now? But we're recording this now. This is a pre-record. So we're playing this when you actually, when you launch.
Excellent. So beforehand?
Just between us.
So yeah, we were TeamFit, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So TeamFit, great name, encompasses the team, getting fit, but we thought it was a little bit mundane, a little bit sort of sports, athletic-based, science-based, very corporate. And as you said, we live and learn. This is our first go at it. So we were feeling what it feels like, and we're just like, look, those colours, the look of the brand, the logos, the name, it just doesn't reflect us. As we've talked about throughout the podcast, and as Jack said, it should be fun. It should be immersive. It's sexy. It's it's all the things, all the fun things in life, and the lighting and everything. So we needed something that was really, I don't know, what would you say?
Modern, edgy, new, exciting.
Yeah. So we needed something that reflected us. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, we're about making big statements. We're about trying things that haven't been tried before. Yeah, changing the fitness game a bit in that regard. So it's now, we came up with the name, well, we had help to come up with the name Underground Training. And it's all about that underground escape in your community, an exclusive community where you can go, you've got your tribe, you're working out, but at the end of the day, it's that immersive experience as well. So, and all the colours that surround that is a bit more of what we are, those bright colours, that edgy modern language and brand. So we're really excited about franchising that out to the world because we feel like that really reflects us.
Now, you've already sold some of the franchises, haven't you, in Tasmania and one on the mainland?
Hobart and Rosny. So we've just sold Hobart and Rosny a couple of weeks ago. It's now July. It's now July.
Do you have any? Now, I have a lot of listeners that aren't based in Australia, and when they hear us talk about mainland, they're going to be like, what? So just so you know, it's like in Australia, Tasmania, where Jack and Tim are, is I don't know, a little island off the bottom of Australia. Yeah.
It's an amazing island. This beautiful little island.
It's absolutely.
I never visits.
It is absolutely stunning. They actually, a lot of the whole world creates their air, like the percentage of what their air is fresh air based on Tasmania.
Cleanest air in the world.
The cleanest air in the world, they say, exactly.
That's right.
But it's not part of the mainland, so that's why they keep referring to where I live, the mainland, and they're Tasmania. So there you go.
So I should elaborate. Hobart and Rosny, the territories that we sold, they're in southern Tasmania. So southern Australia, real southern.
As southern as you can get. Basically, as cold as you can get in my world. So, and if you're interested, we will have in the show notes anyway that you can contact Jack and Tim, and you can open up a franchise, not just in Australia, anywhere in the world. They are looking for more franchises around the world. I love the concept of how you're going about this and how, I've spoken to you guys quite a bit, and the way for me, it's like you're always positive. Even you've had some definitely, tribulations in everything that's going on. It's been a rocky road, but for me too, business is not always this smooth road. If everyone knew it was going to be this smooth, like, making money and being successful, then everyone would be doing it. And there's moments where people go to that, I quit, because it gets into the too hard basket. But I've seen you guys sort of go, okay, it's in a too hard basket. How are we going to get out of the too hard basket? And what are we going to choose next? And I think you're continuously choosing what is unique to you and what you know is true to you is probably the way I would describe that. And I do see this, out creating F45 and being across the entirety of the world. So don't limit yourselves if you're interested in this. It's like, ping these guys and it's changed the world with the fitness industry and how people can be with their bodies, because bodies are one of the most judged things in the world. I mean, money, relationship, bodies, it's like these are the top places that people usually wake up in the morning with this litany of judgment about themselves. And what if that could change? And what if that didn't have to be, your reality?
I'm glad you said that, Simone, because if you go through our Instagram, for those that are listening, go through our Instagram and you won't see one before and after photo. There will not be one single before and after photo. So that's something that we really pride ourselves on as well. We're not about that. Like, yes, don't get me wrong, we want people to lift heavier, we want people to get results, but that's not the forefront.
It's not about how you look.
Yeah, it's not about how you look.
We're very, we're grateful for all those challenges you just mentioned as well, because that's how you learn. Like if you smooth sailing, you don't actually learn anything. It's like sport. You learn more from your losses because you actually analyze it. You don't paper over the cracks. But as you said, we use the access tools. We are always asking questions. Yeah. We are always, when something good happens, how's it get me better than that? What else is possible?
What's it going to take?
What's it going to take?
Our staff have bought into that as well.
Yeah, they're always.
I know. You told me that last time that your staff are now asking questions. That's cool.
That's great. So good. And I think as well, we can swear on this, can't we? Like, I've sworn about it.
Cat's out of the bag.
Ever since we opened, I'd hate to think how many moments we've gone, we're fucked. Like, we're fucked moments. But you said, and this will always stick with me, a few months ago, and your dad told you this, nothing's ever as good as it seems, but nothing's ever as bad as it seems. And it's so true. It is so true. You can go through moments where you go, we're fucked. You know what? The sun will rise the next day and you'll figure out a way to you'll figure it out. Yeah, there's always a solution.
Always a solution. You just don't give up. You ask questions. As you said, you keep choosing. And, we love it.
Well, I love you left me a message this morning, Tim, and the piece I loved about it was you went, because I hadn't responded to you guys, and I was like, hey, I'm sorry, I've been so busy and had a lot on. And you were like, we know that, but we're going to keep following up because that's what we do. We don't rest until we get what we want. And I was like, that's awesome. I love that energy and the way you be like that. And to be honest, it's been the greatest invitation for me to be included in the business as well, is that you are like that. Because if you were having these hard moments and then really falling apart, Jack, I guess I in one way I knew you the least, because at least Tim had been in one of my classes. And I love Jack. Last time when I was away, you left me this message going, hey, can we chat? Can we meet up? I'm a bit stressed out and da-da-da. And you were so honest and vulnerable with where you're at. And I was in Europe and I left you a message saying, hey, first thing is relax, like enjoy what it is that you're creating, like really relax into it and enjoy what it is. And I see a lot of people get really stressed because they're not, reaching some goal that they've decided, but they're not actually enjoying what is. I mean, you'd see that people with their bodies, most people want to, have a bigger muscle or lose a certain amount of weight or something like that. But what if you enjoyed your body today?
Exactly. Yeah.
Enjoy the business today. So that's what anyone listening here, if you want to start something, just start. It's like you will stumble and fall. You will wake up some mornings and just go, fuck, what have I done? But as these guys are saying, there's always something else that's possible. And I'm going to say 2 of the tools I would say is enjoy what you have. Always, as Tim was saying too, it's you gain awareness. So ask, what awareness did I gain with this choice? Because as you gain awareness, you'll know what to choose next time. And you'll know, gosh, you've gone down roads too of like trusting people and then going, oh, maybe I shouldn't have trusted them. Like it was, something different. So anyway, I would like to ask you guys too, do you have any other tools or anything you give people who are starting out in a business and to keep moving forward? Because that's the one thing I've seen you guys constantly choose.
Well, one thing I was just about to mention, for Jack will probably have more, but you talk about, the joys of running a business, and it should be joyful. You don't go into it to be stressed. Like that's not the idea of it. And, you know,
Imagine if you did that. Let's start a business so we can be stressed out every single day.
and this is the limiting belief that everyone has. It's like, oh, you're in a business, that must be stressful, you know. And the biggest thing, the first time I ever heard of you, Simone, was reading the book Joy of Business. And that just like flipped it all for me. Like we're already looking into, you know, starting this business. And I was already starting to get stressed. And I read that book of yours, and it changed my mentality.
What were we stressed about back then?
Oh God, who would know? It's just
because you thought you should be, though. But that's the thing.
100%. But it's all a mindset. So we've always used that mindset. Joy of business. Ask questions. Always a solution. You know, as Jack said, nothing's ever as good as it seems. Nothing ever as bad as it seems. And the one we used lately is, you know, yesterday's news. Today's news is tomorrow's fish and chip wrap up. So, you know, whatever the big deal is today, whatever, you know, the members might be talking about, the community, what's in the news, it'll pass. You know, just keep choosing, put your next foot forward, and away you go. So that's one thing that I really love.
Mine is big advice that I can give. I'm always thinking about how we can improve the business, like what's next in the fitness industry, what's next for underground training, or what's next for TeamFit at the moment. What more can we offer our members? What more can we do for our staff? And I find that the best time that I do that isn't when I lock myself away and I'm like, right, I've got to focus now for 45 minutes and I've got to try and think of an amazing idea. It's not about that. It's when I'm taking the dog for a walk and I'm on the beach, or I'm on a holiday, or I'm playing golf, and my mind isn't meant to be thinking about work, but something, or funnily enough, when I'm in the shower, when I'm not meant to be thinking about work and something happens. So the biggest thing that biggest advice that I could probably give to someone is allow time out of your week, whether you think you've got it or not, just do it. Whether, you know, just to go for a walk and it's just you time. Like, say to yourself, I'm not going to think about work, and I guarantee you're going to think of an amazing idea. So it's just about allocating that time throughout the week just to do that, whether it's go for a walk, play golf, or I don't know, whatever your hobby is, just do it, because you will think of something incredible. And that's some of my best work. I've thought of amazing ideas.
Just unintentional creative time.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. The amount of times I start a sentence with, I was just in the shower. I have these ideas in the shower. Someone actually brought me, there's a notepad you can buy that it's for tradies or something like that. It's a notepad you can buy that you can write in it in the water. And someone actually bought it for me. So like, you always seem to have these great ideas in the shower, and you think, oh, remember that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly.
Have fun. Like, really relax and have fun. And one of the tools I would talk about that sort of goes with, you know, what you mentioned, Jack, is do like 1 hour a day and 1 day a week, do something that nurtures you, whatever that is. Like, it, you know, during COVID, I found cooking, like I never used to cook before, but then I started looking at, and it relaxes me now. I actually like cooking.
What do you cook? What's your go-to?
What's my go-to?
Sweet or savory?
If I literally, what I usually do when I come home from a trip is, it might sound boring, but I really like it. It's like a really yummy homemade chicken broth with chicken and vegetables in it. And then I usually cook so much of it. And I've got so much that I'm giving it away, or I'm doing little freeze packs in my thing. So, but you know, anything, I go through phases. Like at the moment, I'm cooking with lentils, oats. I like cooking oat bar things. Like I made that last night. So it just relaxes me. It puts me into a space of being with me.
Yeah.
So,
smells as well. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's your thing. That's your thing. That's what you do. That's what you do. Another thing I forgot to say as well, and this is what you said, is you've got to go. You said this to me ages ago. You've got to go into business with something that you enjoy. Yeah. If you go into business expecting just to make money, you're already setting yourself up for failure. You have got to go into business and start something up with something you are so incredibly passionate about, because there are going to be times where you're not making money. It's business. Like, it happens. You can't control necessarily what goes on all the time. You can control what goes on inside your four walls, but as soon as you enter outside of that, you can't control that. So you have to enjoy it. You have to be passionate about, and you have to have a really strong belief and cause in what you are trying to achieve. So that's probably my biggest one, actually. Yeah.
I love that. That's you should be writing a business book. Maybe you will be writing a business book in the future.
Maybe one day.
That's why we're learning all these hard lessons, I reckon.
I'll put that on the to-do list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that to-do list. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. So what day is it that you're actually launching the new name, Underground?
So we will be launching we've got a soft launch on our second birthday, which will be the 12th of August. We'll then be going public with Underground Training officially on the 16th of August. However, It is now, what date is it now? 19th of July. In a week's time or a couple of days' time even, Underground Training is going to be starting to float on the socials of people, starting to promote and give people a bit of a teaser on what's coming. It is going to be officially out there and officially rebranded on the 16th of August.
Okay, so this podcast will be launched on the 16th. Done.
Oh, perfect.
For your birthday. And maybe I'll be in Brazil at the time, but maybe we can jump on Instagram and we can do a little Instagram together to invite people to it.
Perfect.
Sounds great.
Amazing.
Awesome.
So thank you so much, guys, for being on here. I do look forward to meeting you guys actually at some point. I'm sure we will. I'll make my way down to Tasmania. You guys will come up to Queensland.
Maybe when we launch a company-owned one in Queensland.
Exactly. That's it. So, yes. So thanks for being here, guys. And thank you for listening, everyone. Don't forget you can watch us on YouTube as well. And don't forget to subscribe. As you subscribe, we send you all the show notes and we do all of that. And thank you so much. We've also got our own Instagram, Choice, Change and Action. If there's anything that you're interested in me talking about, it's like slide into our DMs and ask us. And thank you for following us and thank you for being here. So thank you, Tim and Jack, spinning me out with the name.
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks very much.
Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform to get notified of new episodes. We read all the reviews, so if there's any topic you would like to hear about, let us know. If you'd like to know more about the tools, information and classes mentioned in the podcast, head on over to SimoneMilasas.com and follow me on Instagram at Simone Milasas, or the podcast has its very own link on Instagram at Choice, Change and Action. Don't forget you can download the show notes, and lastly, have way too much fun today.